First of all, just wanted to check in with all of you guys real quick before I kind of get into the stuff I wanted to go over today. Any pending issues, challenges, coaching opportunities, anything like that, anything you're going through right now with any of your files that you got questions on? We'll kind of run through those real quick if we need to, and then kind of get on into the stuff that I wanted to show you.
I'm good.
You good? Okay. John's good.
So far.
Mark, you got anything? No, we met last week and kind of went through the pipeline, but is there anything?
Yeah, nothing really new since then. Nothing I can think of right now.
Okay. No worries, no worries. Richa, you got anything?
Not really, but I'm happy to learn the seller's listing presentation and everything about it. I'm looking forward to it. I think I might have one in couple of months.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay, cool. I'm not gonna go into like a whole listing presentation training today, because I've done that already, and there's a video where I really just go page by page and really break it down. I don't know if you've seen that one. It's in the agent launch. Highly recommend you watch that one because that one's just really detailed. What I want to talk about today is more just a little bit of strategy on how we're using that, and just a couple little tools that we can add that Zillow has rolled out that I think will make it a little more effective. I also wanted to use this opportunity to play a call that Asif took. So I'm going to go on. So a little background. Asif is out of town right now, but he got a seller lead for a potential listing in Fremont. He took the call, set up a walkthrough yesterday with Jim because Asif's out of the country. And then he tag teamed me in there, and I'm going to go meet the seller today to walk the property and try to get him to sign a listing and go over the bid and everything from Jim. So literally the call came in yesterday morning. We got Jim out there in the afternoon. Jim went solo just because we needed a scramble because this guy, it's a rental property, and he drove from Texas to come check on the property. Property's vacant. I think it was his parents' property or he inherited or something. It's paid off. It's probably worth like 1.8, 1.7 if it's cleaned up. And he's having the property's been sitting vacant for a while. So he drove from Texas, come check it out, come try to get it sold, basically, try to hire a realtor. And then he's driving back tomorrow. So like the time frame is like really, really quick. So I'm like, I'll jump on that one for a Asif. I'll go out there and try to get it signed because it's a hot listing. It should sell pretty fast if we can get it. But I want to start off with just playing Asif's call, kind of dissect that a bit, because I think there's some takeaways from there. There's some coaching opportunities, and there's also some good things that he did, which I think we can take away from. And then just kind of talking about strategy of how to move these things faster, and then a couple tools that I want to show you guys that Zillow is now rolling out that we can integrate into our listing presentation. Sound good, guys? Cool. All right, let me pull up the call. Start there. And this one. Share my screen. All right, and just let me know if you guys can hear this.
Excellent. And yourself?
Good. So let me just introduce myself, right? Asif Kazi, I'm a Zillow Premier agent. I've been working with Zillow for well over 2 years now. Received your interest in selling the property at 35496 Morley Place, right?
Correct.
What I generally like to do is get a better understanding of your motivation and then talk about any specific questions that you have, right? So could you tell me a bit more about why you're interested in selling, what's driving the need to sell, and any other information you could provide?
Well, the tenant moved out. I own the house. It's, and I just need to clean it up and sell it. I have no need for it. I don't live in California anymore.
Okay.
And so well, basically want to get rid of it.
Okay, excellent. And so is as soon as possible your timeline? Is that what you're looking for?
Yeah, well, I do need to get a contractor in there to clean it up a few things. There's nothing major. Do you have contractors you work with?
No, that was the next question that I was going to propose you, right? So we do offer turnkey solutions, right? So we offer 3 tiers as far as the commission plan, right? And essentially at 2.5%, we do minimalistic marketing. At 3%, we do a lot more, right? We pay for the inspections, etc. And at 3.5%, we do everything up to snuff in terms of, hey, if hiring contractors, cleaning up the place, if you need upgrades done, etc. All of those are options, right? What I would like to do is obviously send you what those things look like so that you at least have an idea of what those costs are, right? Typically, what I'd like to do is spend an hour or so, right, doing what we call as a listing presentation. It's entirely up to you, right? We're a highly reputed brokerage in the area. We've got over 500 plus 5-star reviews, right? And we've got a few listings coming up in Fremont in the area as well. So what questions do you have for me, right? So I can obviously get painting done, whatever else needs to be done. Unclear at this point in time what the condition of the home is. So I would love to see it. Do you have somebody who's got access to the keys?
Yeah, me.
Okay, but you're out of state.
Yeah, I'm in California right now. I'm in Fremont right now.
Okay.
And I just basically am looking to find someone who can move quickly as far as making the arrangements and as far as selling it, whatever, you know.
Yeah, and
so
we
are you
we can go
available
quickly.
today?
I'm unfortunately not available today. How long are you in town?
I can hang out another day if you want.
Okay.
I need to be back in Texas next week, and I'm driving. So,
Okay.
yeah. Do you have someone works with you that could? Give you
Yeah. I have someone who works with me who can meet you, and we can look at the place and get a walkthrough, etc. done, and then provide you an assessment, right? So that should be great, right? So here's what I could do, right? And we can move quickly. Again, it just depends upon the condition of the home, right? We can get you a listing agreement, right?
Sure.
And then I will also send you the tiering options that we have. And then again, we want to do what makes sense for you, right? If you want high touch, we can go to the high touch route. If you want low touch, we can do the low touch route. So I'll send those options over to you, right? So that you can take a look. And then I can have my admin or somebody from my team reach out to you to schedule a walkthrough in a day or two, right? And that way we can at least take a look at the home. And then we can talk about timelines in terms of when you can get it on the market, right?
Yeah. Do you have anybody available today by chance?
Yeah. So next thing is I'll call my office and see who's available to meet up with you today. Okay?
Yeah, that'd be great. Because I've been through the place, and it's got popcorn ceilings, which I want to get rid of because nobody likes them. But it's mainly just remove some wallpaper and paint.
Mm-hmm.
There might be some bathroom remodeling, but that's questionable. And then it's got wood floors throughout, so they would need refinishing. And that's about it, really. Like I say, no major construction things. In the past, I've had the plumbing replaced and everything because the house was originally built with the galvanized pipe, and that gave way.
Got it.
So, you know, it's all that plumbing's been replaced in the past. The kitchen was remodeled a few years back, but otherwise, it's you know, it's got linoleum in the dining area, which I might go ahead and replace all of that. But you know, so time-wise, that stuff takes time. I know. You know, and the house has been sitting a while since the tenant moved out because I just haven't had time to get out here. So there's no super rush, but the super rush is the fact that I'm here now.
Understood. Yeah.
And if we could get somebody to do a walkthrough with me and give me suggestions as to what's selling these days, and
Yep.
and that's really what I need.
Excellent. So let's do that, right? I'll get a listing agreement over to you to start with, right? I'm going to put the middle of the tier plan, right? I'm going to reach out to my office, and then we'll try and get you scheduled for a walkthrough with you today, right? But give me some time to confirm. Let me call and see availability of my contractors, right? So that we can sit and do the walkthrough. Okay?
A contractor with the agent would be great. Yeah.
Yep. Awesome. Anything else that I can answer for you? This is what I obviously like to ask, right? And it's an important question because this is an important decision, right? So first and foremost, do you have a number in mind you'd like to get for the home?
Honestly, from everything I've looked at, the homes in that neighborhood, it's the Brookvale area. I don't know if you're familiar with Fremont.
Yep, I am.
In fact, where is your office?
So we've got a couple of offices, right? So one of them is in San Jose. The other one is in San Ramon, right? But like I said, hey, we've got quite a few listings coming up in the Fremont area, including one coming up on Ruskin Place in the close by.
Everybody's moving out, huh?
Yep. Yeah.
The tech industry's dying. They're leaving.
Yeah. I mean, yes and no, right? I mean, see, here's the thing, right? Here's the thing that has stood true in time, right? People who need to buy will buy, right? People who are having kids need to move to a bigger place, right? People who've moved from out of state to get a job in one of the big companies and want a good school district, right? And then the people who are downsizing from bigger homes, right? So these three, irrespective of what the condition of the market is, right? These are essentially the same family conditions which happen, and we've got to, I mean, they're still buyers, right? So that's the thing.
Yeah. I got time to wait it all out and everything. So that's, not a big deal. It just needs to get fixed and put on the market.
Excellent. So let's do that. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, it's in the Brookvale area. You were asking about that. From what I've seen, and I get all those advertisements all the time from different agents and stuff, they seem to be going in the 1.5 to 1.7 or more,
Yep.
depending on the time of year, I guess.
Yep.
So, it'd be nice to get as much as I can.
Excellent. And that's the goal, right? And so here are a few things that you can expect from me after this call, right? So you'll obviously get my contact information. That will be there. I'll send you what we call as a seller consultation, right? Again, it's for your reference. I generally walk my clients through it. If you're interested, I'm happy to walk you through that. That's item number 2. Item number 3, I'll send you a listing agreement so that we can get the show on the road, right? I'm going to select the middle of the pack offer, which works for most clients, right? And the key thing for that is this, right? With the middle of the pack offer, I can get you in touch with the contractors, and then you can manage the payments and the thing. We can help do a lightweight project management for you because you're out of the city, right? And we can make sure that the work gets done, it's up to snuff, it's quality, etc. Right? Yeah. But again, we're not doing heavy duty project management, as in, hey, we're not doing all the selections of what needs to get done, what flooring, etc., right? So that's why it's the middle of the pack offer, right? And then the most important thing, I'll also get you what we call as the comparative market analysis, right? Based on the last 6 months, what do we believe your property is likely to sell for? Okay?
Okay.
And then that way you have all the information. But again, we do this for a living. We've got a strong team, and it's not just myself. We've got an admin team. We've got a set of contractors, right? Importantly, we've got real estate agents in the area who can do word of mouth advertising, as well as who have ready buyers ready to buy, right? So all of those go a long way in terms of expediting sales for properties, right?
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
So expect all of those, right? So what I'm going to do is make a few calls, look at the availability of my contractors, and then call you back in terms of scheduling a walkthrough.
Sounds good.
Anything else that I can answer for you in the interim?
No, not offhand.
Awesome. Excellent.
Today, wait a minute. I haven't been following today's Wednesday, right?
Today is Wednesday.
That sounds like a crazy question. Yeah. Yeah, today or early tomorrow would be okay.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do is find out
Preferably
availability and
today,
then
if possible.
I'll coordinate time with you. Could you repeat the last part? Sorry.
The what?
Could you repeat the last part? Sorry, I spoke over you. Sorry about that.
Preferably today, if possible.
Yep. Excellent. And that would
I'm
be my priority.
Yeah, I'm available all day, so
Okay.
All right, let's stop there. No, it was a lengthy call, but it was good to kind of see the whole start to finish and kind of how he framed that. Let's discuss that really quick, guys. What do you guys take away? I mean, I know Mark and John have taken some calls like this. I don't know if Richa has, but what are some of your takeaways from that call? What do you think he did well? What critiques can you give him? And maybe what things can you take away from that maybe you got to incorporate into your calls? Just unmute yourself.
I mean, I think he went into the commission a little too early, and the guy was asking more questions like, can you handle all this for me? I would have really played up the whole project management. Like, you know what, you can stay in Texas. This will be taken, the payments will be taken care of at escrow, but we've got the entire process covered. We've got the contractors. We can do, we can handle it from beginning to end. I mean, that was, I think the client's biggest need was just hands off. Let's get it ready and get it marketed. I wouldn't have, I don't want to say pushed, but he was pushing signing the listing agreement before he really closed the guy. Before the guy was, what I mean? I mean, the guy was, he was, the guy's ready to sell, but I don't know if he had complete buy-in on us yet. I wouldn't have asked for the listing agreement, to sign it. I'll send it over, sign it, and we'll get started. I would have gone with, let's get in the house, let's go over it. And then, on the follow-up call, you build the value of, this is what we found, this is what we can do. We can handle the A, B, C, and D for you. All you need to do is give us the go-ahead. And he says, that makes sense. Okay, I'll get you the listing agreement.
Yeah. Okay. So that was your feedback. Maybe something that, from your perspective, you might have done a little bit different. Okay.
Mhm.
Now let me challenge you.
Call.
Let me challenge you, John.
Oh no, please do. Yeah.
So what if I go there and I sign the listing and it actually worked? His method worked. Would your opinion change of that?
Well, yeah. I mean, there's more than one way to skin a cat. My way isn't always the right way. So I know that. But
yeah,
I mean,
it's definitely different angles. I'm half playing around with you too. Just want to, get the
on that note though, you're going to be out there with him. So
yeah,
you'll be closing at that time. So it's a little easier to start pushing the listing agreement when you're in person too, I think.
Yeah.
Not off the initial phone call, sometimes it might be a little bit harder.
Yeah, definitely.
At least me, so like I said.
Yeah. Yeah. I probably wouldn't have said the commissions. I would have said the 3 tiers. I probably wouldn't have said that it was. That's probably what I would have done a little bit different. I would have more said, hey, we have these 3 tiers and this is what they are, but I don't think he had to say how much the commission was. Just in case that ends up being a factor, once I meet him. So we'll see today once I meet the guy. What do you think he did well, John? What's some takeaways that you can maybe take from how he handled that?
He did ask a lot of tie downs. Like, does that make sense? You agree? You get them saying yes. It's harder for them to say no down the road because they're used to saying yes. He was real good about asking, finding out the motivation, why they're going to sell. Got that taken care of right up front, which helps a lot.
Yeah.
What their time frame is, and are you wasting your time or not?
Yeah.
So no, I mean, he did ask a lot of good questions. I mean, no, I thought overall it was a good call. I mean, he got the appointment.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, he definitely I felt like he set the stage right when he got on the call. He was like, hey, this is who I am. This is what I do.
Yeah.
Right. Tell me about why you're looking to sell. Right. He like just got right into it, instead of like beating around the bush,
Mhm.
which is Asif's style. Asif is very like, just like this. Right. He has that high sense of urgency. Maybe it's because he's in the tech world and like they're just like short 5-minute calls, like just keep it simple to the point, and that's his style. But good observation. Mark, what do you think?
I kind of have the same feedback that John kind of gave, because the second he started talking about, I'm going to send you the listing agreement, I'm going to send you the listing agreement, I felt like he didn't really have the guy bought in yet. Another like piece of feedback I have is it sounded like this call came through yesterday.
Yeah.
And this guy seems like he's in a real sense of urgency. He's in a rush, like he wants to like lock it down now. I would have just gotten him on a consultation right there so I can explain it while going through all the slides instead of trying to explain it over the phone. If the guy had the capability to do so, maybe he could have gotten him on a consultation sooner. Because now who knows, between yesterday and today, when you go out there, he could have already called a couple other agents and, found someone else to do the job already. So, it's, I guess it's kind of harder when you're out of town and you can't, meet him in face to face right away. But, speed to lead, I think is a big one on this one. It sounds like the guy's here from out of town for just a day or two. You got to try to maximize that if you can.
Yeah, definitely. He was kind of scrambling because Asif's out of town, and
Right.
he's like, man, I'm getting all these calls right when I'm out of town.
That's how it works.
Yeah, and I'm like, dude, he's like, so normally Asif would have went out there and met him
Sure.
for the consultation, but the next best thing was let's get Jim out there, let's start getting him some info, and then now I'm coming through with the second meeting.
Absolutely.
But yeah, you're definitely right. Right, in the perfect scenario, you want to try to meet them in person yourself as quickly as possible, right? Like if Jim and him went together, that probably would have been, they might have been able to sign the listing yesterday. What stuff can you take away from that? Maybe what was there anything that maybe you can add to your arsenal, or just a different perspective that you could take away?
I think he did a good job of going through his line of questions, making sure that he got at least a lot of the basic information in terms of the motivation and the timeline, and arranging a semi game plan of, hey, we're going to do this, this, and this. I'll find someone, to come out and meet with you since I'm unavailable. So he found solutions for, the current situation that was laid in front of him.
Yeah, absolutely. Good observation. Richa, do you have any questions about it or any observations?
I think the call went really good, and I felt that the seller is already, ready.
Yeah.
So ready and motivated. So it's the best time to get it signed.
Mhm.
And he did really good at, appointment and all those stuffs. I
Yeah.
do think that the commission part shouldn't be brought up, because I felt that he will be ready to sign where he can get all the help with contractors, paint work, and whatever his side of concerns are, even the inspection or whatever we can help with.
Yeah, definitely. And that's my observation too, is when Asif gets back, I'm going to play the call and I'll do some coaching with them. But I'm going to recommend, like, hey, you don't need to bring up the commission unless they ask, right? There's no reason, because you can disqualify yourself that way, right? Like if he's already looking at a flyer that says 1% and you're over here saying 2.5, 3, right? Then he may not even be able to get the appointment at that point. And so that's what I would recommend to him. I think all the other questions, I think the way he like presented himself, the way he kind of set the stage of this is what I do, I think he did instill a lot of confidence in the guy, right? I liked how he mentioned like our track record. Even when the guy asked, where's your office? Like he made it into a positive. Hey, we have offices, we have listings, all that stuff. So I think he did a great job of showing value, and showing confidence and credibility. My critique for him would be, what was the guy's demeanor and style, the client, guys? High energy, low energy, laid back? What would you guys say?
Laid back. I don't think so. He was very high.
He wasn't as high energy as focused as a safe.
Exactly.
He-
Yeah.
he-
So
yeah.
there was a mismatch there, I believe. And that's, Asif, I don't know where Asif was. Asif could have been like stepped out of the room because he's at a conference right now for his job. He could have stepped out and was just trying to hurry up and knock this call out, whatever it might be, and try to just get to the point. But I would have slowed down a bit. There's a couple times he talked over the guy, right? Asif was going, 80 miles an hour, and this guy was going, cruising at 55. You know what I mean? So I think Asif could have slowed it down, so that he kind of mirror and matches that guy a little bit better. Naturally, that's Asif's demeanor. And so for him to be a better salesperson, he's going to have to make some adjustments, right? So that's a feedback that all you guys can take, is always try to match the other person's energy, right? And sometimes you don't think about that because you just speak the way you speak. But if you want to connect more with people, you got to try to get down to their level, right? That's taking you from an average salesperson to an above average salesperson. So that would be my critique. Not talk about the commission, slow it down a little bit. I think everything else, he kind of hit all the points. He found out the motivation, he found out the plan, he set the appointment. What I do like about Asif, and I think we can take away this as well, is that he has a high sense of urgency. And that's how he operates, maybe because he doesn't have a lot of time because he's juggling his other career and stuff like that. But Asif, like as soon as he got off that call, he was on it, like calling me, texting me, hey man, I got this opportunity. Who can we get out there? Can we get Jim? Sorry to bug you. Like Asif, you can tell he wants to get like this deal to happen. And so I think we can all take from that, right? When you have a hot opportunity like this, you need to like run and jump and get on it. Because a lot of these don't land in your lap like this, right? Where he happened to get the guy that calls him and the guy's motivated and he's only in town for 2 days and he wants to sell, right? And so when you got something like that, like try not to wait. It's okay to say, hey, Jim, can you get out there today? Because then that will instill confidence in the seller that, hey, you're about business and you move fast, right? And that's what we want from, I think at the end of the day, sellers want somebody who is going to really go to bat for them. And so they want to feel confident in who they hire, and someone who's going to understand their goals. So the sense of urgency is huge. Okay, so let's kind of shift gears a little bit, guys, and talk about just some of the other things. I'm going to go meet this guy today. So I'm going to show you guys like what I'm taking. So you guys can see a window here. Let me see. Okay. Okay, you guys can see my screen? Okay, I got a bunch of tabs open. So I'm taking the bid from Jim. So Jim was able to get me the bid. He went out there yesterday afternoon. He got me the bid this morning. I was on Jim like, hey, I need this bid right away. So I got the bid. I'm going to go over that with him. I pulled up Zillow or Redfin so we can kind of see an estimate of value from Redfin. I pulled up Zillow as well so we can see an estimate of value from that. I have all these tabs open. So when I meet this guy in a bit, I'm going to show them all this stuff on my computer. I pulled up the comps. I have them here. Most recent comps so that I can click on these and show him the photos. Like in case we want to get, I may not have to, but in case we want to see like, hey, look at this house down the street, same as yours. This is how they fixed it up. Then I can pull this up because this is a model match to his house right here. I can say, hey, this one just sold, but let's look at the inside and look what they did to it, And so now that's going to further drive home why we need to spruce his property up if he wants to get a certain price, right? So having like this open to show people, I think is good. In addition, I'm going to have the quick CMA, which I also printed out. So I'm going to be able to, print and, write on it and stuff like that. I have the contract printed out, which Asif sent to me because he had already sent him a listing agreement. So I have that printed out. I have my listing presentation already open here that I can, pull up as I need to. I have my bio. So I'll just kind of touch on some of these things. I may not go into detail on all of them. I'm going to ask questions and kind of see which part's important to him. And then I'm going to focus more on those things, but I'm going to still kind of show him, the whole thing. And then I have samples of listings that we did. Like, so this is Blanca's listing. Jim just did the work on this one. So I'm going to show him, hey, look at, this is what Jim can do. We just listed this property. These are the photos. I even have the before photos. I think I have them on my phone. I'll probably just airdrop them to my computer. So I can say, hey, look what this looked like before. And now this is how we're going to present it, right? So I want to instill confidence in him that we'll be able to handle the job while he's back in Texas. I have another listing that we have. So Jim did the work on this one as well. So I'm going to show him basically the track record. Like, hey, look at, it's not just one. This is another one we got on the market right now. This one just went pending in 1 week. Here's another one that Jim did as well that we just sold. It's in Fremont as well. So that's in his same city. And then here's another one that's on the market that Jim did the work on. This one's Rob's listing in Morgan Hill. This one's on the market. Didn't do as much sprucing up. And so I'm also going to let him know, like, hey, the seller didn't want to do as much, but the property's also sitting on the market a little bit longer now. Had the seller went through with maybe sprucing up the kitchen and stuff like that, we probably would have had it sold already. Seller was on the budget. And then I'm going to show him the showcase. And this is what I wanted to show you guys. So I met with our Zillow rep yesterday, and it's important that when we're meeting with sellers, we don't just tell them about showcase, because if you only tell them about showcase, a lot of people, they don't fully understand really what it means and why it's powerful. And so you have to show them. And so he was like, it's very simple, but this guy's zip code is 94536. So what I'm going to do in front of him is I'm going to say 94536, what's for sale? And now I'm going to show him all these. And then I'm going to say, okay, this is the difference between showcase and not showcase. So these are all the properties for sale in your zip code. So this is everybody that you're competing with, right? When you hire us, you get this enhanced marketing. And so let me go ahead and show you the ones that have showcase. In their whole zip code, there's only 2 listings that have showcase, right? So when you hire us and we do showcase, you get that because you came through Zillow and it's a feature that we offer. There's only 2 other listings that have showcase. Now you're going to be the third. That means out of the hundreds of listings that are in your area, there's only going to be 3 of them that have all this additional marketing, where Zillow is going to target, certain buyers. They're going to email it to them. They're going to do better photos, better marketing. And then I'll pull that up and I'll show him, and I'll pull up this example. And then you could even hand over the computer and just say, hey, go ahead and scroll down and put it in their hand so that they could play around with it, right? Because sometimes they don't really know what that means. And it's only when you compare and contrast, then they see, okay, the difference. And say, okay, so I'll say this is a showcase listing. And then I'll say this is a non-showcase listing, right? So you can see the difference in, the photos, how they stand out. The other thing that's a feature now that Zillow offers, and this is something that we have to use now in our marketing and our presentation, is virtual staging. So now any listing that has showcase, you get free virtual staging now. So that's another added feature now of using showcase. And it doesn't have to be a Zillow listing. It could be any listing, and we can pay for showcase. So as long as we pay for showcase, you get virtual staging. If it's a Zillow listing, you can look at this room, and then I can say, hey, if I wanted to make the more modern, I can click this modern, and now it'll change the freaking furniture in the room, and I can swipe and compare it.
Oh, cool.
Right? If I wanted to do a different style setup, right? So imagine this home was vacant. So I'd show them vacant. Okay, this is what your house is right now, right? But now when we do virtual staging through Zillow Showcase, now we're making it look like this, right? Or we're making it look like this one. And then you show them, right, the difference on that room. And so this is something that they just released because they're trying to just really separate themselves from listing with anybody else. But I think it's a really cool feature. I'm pretty sure other companies are going to start jumping on this, like Redfin or other people. But right now, Zillow is pioneering this feature. Question, Mark?
Yeah, quick question. So if we're having a showcase listing, are we even staging them now, or are we just using this feature? Or are we doing both?
Yeah, great question. And that's where we're going to talk about strategy. So I wanted to show you this and then kind of talk about strategy now and how we're pricing stuff. Because what we know is that there's two different components to, let me pull up my listing presentation. There's two different components to marketing the home, right? It's what you see online and then also what you see in person, right? What you see online is going to drive the traffic to the house, right? And then when they get to the house, what do they see? Now, sometimes depending on the seller, they may or may not want to pay for staging, right? Or they may not want to pay the fee that gets them staging, right? So there's different ways to sell this. You can say, hey, look it, when you sell with us, you automatically are going to get virtual staging, right? You can pitch it that way. Or you can pitch it like, hey, on the gold package, you get Zillow Seller Showcase, which includes virtual staging, and we eliminate the home staging, which is going to save us $3 or $4 grand in costs and increase our profit on the deal, especially on a Zillow deal when they're already taking a percentage and then it's a team split and all that stuff, right? Or on any listing, right? You want to try to, how do I get more, more bang for my buck on a listing, right? So this is where it's up to you how you want to sell it. Like if you want to just say, we're going to take off home staging, or home staging is only on the platinum one, right? So we can move this to the platinum and then replace this with virtual staging. Or you can do an a la carte line item. Hey, look, we'll do the gold, or we'll do the silver, and you use it as a negotiating tool, right? Hey, you know what I'll do is, I really want to work with you, blah, blah, blah. I know, 3% is typically what we charge, but I'll meet you in the middle. We'll do 2.75 and I'll throw in, the virtual staging. And then if you want to do the actual staging of the home, which for your particular home and your particular price point, I do recommend having, physical staging, because when people come in the house, it's just going to show a lot better. We'll just bill you for that separate and you could pay at the close of escrow. Right. And so those are ways that we can shift those costs over and still present a really good package to them. Right. And that's where you have to figure out what strategy is going to work. Right. It's not a one size fits all. It's definitely going to be a little bit playing around with it. What are your thoughts? What are your guys' thoughts from when you go out there and talk to people?
If it's not a Zillow lead, what does the showcase cost us?
Great question. So currently Showcase costs around $900. But if we start buying, like if we buy like their credits, basically you buy tokens, each one's $900. If we buy them one by one, if we commit to 2 a month, that brings the cost down to $675. So, and then you could just bank your credits and then you could just use them once you have a listing. So that's something that I'm in talks with to see if we want to do that as we get more listings, where we can offer Zillow Showcase on every listing, not on just Zillow leads, right? Because it is a differentiator. And it is worth it in the long run, because if that cost helps us win more listings, we're going to make that money back from the listing, the commission, from the other business you get off of that listing, from the buyers that walk through, from the other potential sellers in the neighborhood. I think in the long run, it is a good play. And so $900 is the worst case scenario. 675 is the best case. And then in addition to that, we're paying for the media, which I negotiated a discounted rate with our photographer. So it's probably about $300 to $400. Let's say $400. And that, for it to be showcased, it has to have the photos, virtual tour, floor plan in order for it to be a showcase. So like this one here, it has to have all those things in order for it to become a showcase, because that's what showcase has: the photos, the floor plan, the 3D tour. Sky tour, I've never seen this. Whoa. Oh, okay, this is basically like a Google
Drone.
map. Drone?
Oh,
Drone? Yeah.
or Google Map, yeah.
And then so our guy that's doing our photos, and he's compliant with showcase, he's doing, or 7. Okay. Yeah, so he's doing the photos, and then he's also throwing in the twilight photo as well. So I negotiated that with, normally would pay for this separate, but he's now doing a twilight photo of the front. So we're going to get the twilight photo, the regular photos, the 3D, the floor plan. And so we pay for that normally on every listing. The only additional cost is really going to be the actual showcase cost, the showcase fee.
That's not a bad price, though. $300-400 for all that. That's
yeah, $300-400 for the media. That's all. That's going to be on every listing.
That's a great. I mean, that's a really good price for what he's given us.
No, it is. I negotiated that with him because he's trying to compete with like other providers, and so it's like it's like $379, I believe, or something. He gave us like a 40% discount, and I said, hey, as long as you can deliver, all this stuff, we'll keep using you. And his photos look really good, man. Like they're super bright, super crisp, good angles, 24-hour turn time.
Does he go back out to do the twilight, or does he just edit it?
It's an edited twilight. Yeah. Okay. I think they use AI now to edit like all this stuff.
Well, there's that company Box Brownie that'll do that.
Yeah, exactly. But now we're gonna get this included. And then you get this little website that it comes with. You get the 3D tour, right? And then you get the, I'm going to have them update this so we can put our photo and all that stuff on here as well. And then you have the floor plan. It's in here also. Yeah. So overall, I mean, it's really cost effective. And so we'll use this on all our listings, not just Zillow, but the added part is when you're going to do the Zillow showcase. And so we can do like an upcharge, right? Like, or make sure you're getting 3% if you're going to include this. And then we can piece out the home staging. Like if they want to do actual staging, we'll say, hey, you're going to get virtual staging. When does it make sense to do real staging versus virtual staging? I think it's price point driven. And then I also think it's depending on what the competition looks like in that neighborhood. Because have you guys ever been to a property that's vacant, right, versus staged? I mean, it's just the staging will definitely hide a lot of stuff, and it makes it just look complete. Yeah. Questions, thoughts, concerns? How do you see yourself integrating this stuff into your?
I like it. It's good to show, because you just like you said, you just talk about Zillow Showcase. Oh yeah, we're just getting, more views. It's getting marketed a little bit differently, but when you show them that stuff, and then if, like you said, you pull up another non-showcase home and say, between the two, which one's going to show better? I mean, if you were buying a house, which one would you want to go see first?
Yeah, absolutely. And even doing the side-by-side comparison, right? So like I'll open up another Zillow window. Sorry, Zillow. Zillow.com. Wasn't it letting me? It's Zillow. So like today, I'm gonna do this is I'll pull up his neighborhood 94536. Right now I only have showcase, so I'll take off showcase. And then I have the showcase pulled up on one window, and then I have just a regular one pulled up on this window. Right. And so I can say, hey, Mr. Customer, like, let's just look at the marketing, right? Like when you click on this property, this is showcase. This is what we're going to get you. This is why you want to list with us. We're a partner with Zillow. Only agents who are partners with Zillow are going to have access to all this stuff, right? You know, the floor plan, you know, let's click on this, the sky tour, like all these different things. I'll show them the staging, right? Actually play around with the staging, you know? So, hey, if people want to see what the home would look like with different styles of furniture, you know, this is a feature that you're going to get that's included with our package, right? So I'm doing this, like exactly what I'm doing. I'm walking you through it, and I'm playing around with it so you can see. And then I'll say versus a non-Zillow partner, you know, this is what you get. You know, this is what you get. You scroll down. There's not much to it. You don't have those features. You know, you don't have all that stuff going on. You can see this person's like lowered the price a bunch of different times, right? Price cuts, you know, the photos, they just look, they look like, you know, every other regular listing. And, you know, in your neighborhood, when there's all these homes for sale, you know, in your area, all these dots, right? I'll go back to all the dots and I'll show them this. How do we make you stand out amongst all of these people? And this is why you want to hire me, because we understand marketing. We understand the power of, you know, putting money into marketing so that you're at the top, so that you stand out from the rest, from the crowd. And this is how we get your home to stand out and get more eyeballs on it. Also internally, something that you guys need to make sure you say is Zillow sees who's searching and what they're searching for. So Zillow will come up with about 600 buyers that have searched for homes like yours in your area, and they're going to email your listings only, the showcase listings. So they're sending these listings, you know, to a targeted list of buyers internally. And so not only are you getting the exposure from us, Zillow internally is doing stuff. You know, and then you're going to show him like, hey, the ones that have this turned on, there's not many. So do you want to be part of the crowd that has all that, you want to be part of the few that has all these extra marketing things, or do you want to be part of the crowd and like try to stand out, right? And so exactly the way I'm talking to you is how I would be talking to the client. I would be showing them and telling them at the same time, right? And that's how you're going to differentiate yourself from, you know, just an average agent. All right. All right, guys. That's pretty much all I got today. I think the main thing is what I would recommend you do is go on Zillow, pull up a property that's showcased and play around with it. Like you actually, because you need to know what it looks like and feels like so that you can explain it correctly. If you guys just saw me do it, you're not getting, you know, you're getting a secondhand experience. But if you pull it up, learn how to, you know, search a specific zip code whenever you're meeting with that seller, learn how to toggle on and off from showcase and not showcase, and then learn how and click on the showcase one and learn how to kind of navigate through the different parts of the showcase listing. Learn how to play around with the virtual tour so that you can now be experienced when you're doing that in front of an actual client. That's your guys' homework, right? So We got like 6 minutes, right? We normally go till 1. So if you guys could take these 6 minutes, you're already in front of your computer. Just spend the next 6 minutes, go till 1 and play around with that. And then now bring this to your arsenal on your next, any listing appointment, both Zillow and, non-Zillow, right? Use this as your secret weapon. Sound good, guys?
Sweet. Yeah. It's awesome.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank
Cool. Any last minute questions or anything before we wrap up?
One more comment, Enrique. Something that I think I've used that was helpful with highlighting Showcase 2 was when you're looking on to request a tour from the buyer's perspective. On the Showcase, it highlights the listing agent contact information versus just going to a buyer's agent.
Yeah.
So you can always tell your seller, hey, they're going to be contacting me directly instead of, John Smith, the buyer's agent, who's going to then show them all the other homes in Fremont as well. So you get to basically not lose those potential leads that inquire.
That's a really good point you bring up, Mark. Definitely, I didn't touch on that, but yeah, your name appears here, right? So if you're Showcase, you're the agent, you appear here. It's loud and clear that you're the listing agent and they can contact you directly. And so anybody who's interested, those leads are getting captured by you and your agenda is to get their home sold for them, right? Versus they go to a non-Showcase, this guy, you don't see the agent's info. The biggest part that's being highlighted is request a tour. And then once you request a tour, that goes to just any agent who's, on the Zillow platform. And they may have a different agenda. They may have another property that they're trying to get sold or their own listing that they're trying to push them to. So those inquiries could end up somewhere else, which means less people showing up for your property.
And
so, yeah.
And you tell them, who do you want showing the house? The listing agent who knows everything about it, or some guy that's never seen it before and is just walking through the house with you? Who's going to be able to present the home better to a buyer than the listing agent? Because he knows everything that's been done to it. He has more information. He has a better chance of selling the house to you.
Yeah, 100%. That's a good point, right? Who do you want showing it? You'd rather have the listing agent or someone from our team showing it because we know the property, we know the ins and outs, we know how to highlight the certain features versus a random agent who has no ties to the property. They're just coming in here and they're as clueless as the buyer that they're bringing on what's going on with this house, right? And so this is why you want to work with an agent who understands this and who can capture as much opportunity and get as many qualified eyeballs onto your property, right? So yeah, great point, man. Drive that thing home. All right, guys, that's all I got. Spend a couple minutes right now on Showcase, learn it, and then keep me posted on feedback when we do our next meeting. Let me know, how you guys incorporate this, and we'll tweak it from there.
Sweet. Thanks,
Later,
Enrique.
guys.
Later.
Thank you.
Bye.